Something my STEEZ not going on. Yes, Lord, bring you round 20, bro. 2-0, man. A couple weeks left, man. Coming down to the wire, bro. I say this as we approaching the season finale, man. Last week was kind of rough in tips a little bit, man. Had some unpredictable, some wins I didn't quite predict, man. Yeah, and it seems like we might have some good games coming up this week. We got a couple rivalries, man. So you know those can go either way. A lot of the times. So I'm excited to see what we got cooking up this week. The first game we got this round is Hawthorne versus Carlton. This one's at the MCG. This is a really important game, especially from a Carlton perspective, considering this is Sam Doherty's last game. He gave a lot to the club, man. 3 ACLs or 3 knee injuries, come back from testicular cancer, all that. So he's had a lot that he's dealt with. So I know this is a big game for Carlton. I hope they view it as a big game. It's also Jacob Wiederin's 200th game. So there's a lot of motivation for them boys coming in to this round. I would like to think, I hope so. You know, a lot of motivating factors there. You know, coming off a win as well against Melbourne. So, I mean, you have a slight momentum. You're going against the Hawks, though, who are a tough team, who are definitely the better team this season. But I think just with all those surrounding factors, I'm willing to tip Carlton, give them a little bit of an olive branch, if you don't mind. Yeah, I think I'm willing to tip them boys just off that fact, bro. I don't think that they're the better team. I don't think they're the more informed team. But this game has to be important, bro. It has to be motivating for them boys. If this doesn't get them boys up during this game, then I don't know what will, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm going on a little bit of a limb and going ahead and tipping them Carlton boys, man, against Hawthorne. I mean, Hawthorne also getting Will Day back, which is a crucial piece to their midfield. It seems like when he went down, that's when they started to stumble just a little bit. Before then, they were going really, really good. You know, they found a little bit of form and have got back to playing great footy and playing good contested ball, dominating in the midfield, and playing great defense, and that's what they're really good at as well. So, Harry Mackay also coming in for Carlton. So there's some big ends coming in this week. So I don't quite know how this game will go, but you know, a little bit of extra motivation for Carlton, I would like to think. So, like I said, I'm going to have to tip them boys just off that fact, man. Hopefully them boys don't make me look stupid. Hopefully they don't make Sam Doherty look stupid or Jacob Wiederin look stupid. But nope, that's what we're going to go with, man. Second game of the round, we got Bulldogs versus Essendon. Good news for the Bulldogs. They're going against a team that's not in the top 8 or 9, so should be a pretty easy win for them. They have a dominant record against teams in that latter positioning. Essendon just hammered with even more injuries. You say this every week. Will Setterfield out for season. Obviously, Nick Martin with the ACL a couple weeks ago. And them boys just cooked, man. I don't know if they'll win a game the rest of the season unless they go against 18 or 17 on the ladder, man. It's really tough for them boys. This year, they're sitting at 14th going against the Dogs, who should have some motivation into before grabbing a spot in 8. They're currently sitting at 9. And yeah, I think they got a little bit of work to do if them boys want to be in the finals. I think they're competitive enough. They just have to beat some of the better teams, bro. I've seen they're on fraud watch, fraud alert, or whatever the case is. I've been seeing going around on social media, and yeah, their profile hasn't quite stood up to being a premiership contender just because they can't beat the good teams, but they do whoop the bad teams' ass. Essendon is a bad team, so I think this is an easy tip here for the Dogs. So I'm going to go ahead and safely tip that one. GWS versus Sydney, the battle of the bridge, if you don't mind. Sydney coming off a good win against North, and GWS also coming off a win against Essendon. Both playing 2 putrid teams. I was surprised to look back on the record and look at the last 10, and I believe Sydney had won 8 of the last 10 against GWS, which I was quite surprised to see that. I do think GWS has been a good team in the last couple of years. Maybe not when we first started watching footy in 2021, but you know, 10 games doesn't go all the way back then. This is also including games and finals as well. So, you know, sometimes we forget how dominant Sydney was the last couple of years, and Yeah, it's quite interesting. I don't know. GWS has a couple players that may come back this week. Sam Taylor, Jesse Hogan, and Jack Buckley. Not Jack Buckley, but Josh Kelly. And those are all three of them are very handy inclusions. I'm not sure if they are coming back. But I mean, with them and without them is definitely affects the confidence in my tipping against or for GWS. Without them, I'll easily tip Sydney, I think. But I think I'm gonna tip them regardless, based off prior records, the competitiveness that they have been playing with, and just Errol Golden and Isaac Heaney had a marvelous game last game. I think 30 plus touches, 4 or 5 goals. He done that a couple times this season, so he's in great form right now. And yeah, just the uncertainty with those players in GWS potentially being out. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and tip. Ooh, I don't know, because Tom McCartan's still out, bro. I'm gonna tip Sydney. Fuck it. I'm not about to go back and forth and figure out who we about to have winning this game. It is at NG Stadium, so GWS does have an advantage there, but yeah, just the uncertainty there got me wondering whether they're gonna be able to win that game. So I'm gonna go ahead and tip Sydney, even though they are the underdogs in this particular game. Another rivalry, we have the Q Clash. We have Gold Coast versus the Lions. I believe earlier in the year, this was one of the highly anticipated Q Clashes, probably the most highly anticipated Q Clash in the history of the rivalry, if you don't mind. And Gold Coast did not live up to it at all. I was highly disappointed with their performance last time they played. And Brisbane coming off a win against the Dogs. Gold Coast coming off actually a very disappointing loss against Adelaide. Adelaide really took it to them boys, to be quite honest. So I think Brisbane has been playing great, man. Getting Zach Bailey back this week too should be pretty good for them boys. Yeah, just based off how they played earlier in the season, bro. Like I think I have to go the Lions, even though just because something happened in one particular game between a particular matchup in the year doesn't mean it's always going to go that way, as we've seen with Carlton and North. But let's just forget about that. But I think Brisbane's just really a really good team. They've been showing it all year. And when they get going, they're just unstoppable, bro. And the way that they've been defending lately too is just, I don't know if Gold Coast is really up to it, man. I do like the Gold Coast midfield, but I don't know, man. I don't think they're still little brothers in this situation. I don't think I could tip the boys over Brisbane. There's nothing really warranting a tip against Brisbane at this particular time in the season. They're going pretty well, bro. So I think I'm gonna have to just go Brisbane, even though it's at People First Stadium. Gold Coast home ground advantage, but I don't think that's gonna be doing too much for them boys in this particular situation. So let's go ahead and go with Brisbane here. Next game we have Freo versus West Coast, and this is a very easy win for Freo in my opinion. Freo in the last 10, I believe, have won 7, won 4 of the last 5. So West Coast snuck one in there, but Freo is a much better team, I think, at this particular moment. Comparative to the team that West Coast did play in the past, and comparing themselves to West Coast now as well. Yeah, Freo coming off a hot win, great win against Collingwood, which was very surprising in my book, in my opinion, especially since it was at the MCG. I didn't think that Collingwood would lose at the MCG for the rest of the year, but Freo had other plans. Patrick Ross at the MCG is just quite amazing. He's definitely erupted this year, so got to give them boys credit where it's due. I haven't quite given Freo the credit they probably deserve. They stellar at home at Optus Stadium. Obviously, they're playing this game at Optus, so Freo hasn't really lost too many games this year playing at home. Although it is West Coast home as well, it's just not as good a team, bro. They're definitely struggling more, and the form is just completely different. West Coast just got smoked by Richmond at Optus Stadium, so I think Freo is just a whole different monster that they have to deal with compared to Richmond. So I definitely will comfortably tip Freo in this situation. Sadly, we have North versus Geelong. Geelong's a better team, let's be honest. North's not going to win this game. Geelong beat the Saints last week. North got pumped, like we said, against Sydney. I think Geelong is a better team than Sydney as well. I know that's not one-to-one, isn't necessarily how it goes, comparisons, but I do think Geelong's just a better team. Tom Stewart, I think, potentially coming back from his little knee injury or whatever the case is. Even without him, I think they're just still a better team. I think the midfield is better. Nick Larkey's still in question. He should be back this week for North, but they really need him to even have a chance against this game in this game against Geelong, especially since Geelong's defense is pretty good. Yeah, man. I just think there's nothing really North can do to beat Geelong in this particular game. It's not a GMHBA, I don't believe, but that doesn't really have too much. It does as far as how much of an ass whoop this will be, but I don't think North is going to win this game, man. 17 on the ladder. Nah, bro. Geelong's still fighting for top 4, bro. They should still have motivation for the end of the season to try and give themselves opportunity to be able to drop one in finals and still be alive for the premiership, man. So they should have premiership aspirations still at this point. And you just got to handle business when it comes down to the road. And I think that Geelong is the type of professional team that does handle business. They do win the games that they should win, and this is a game that they should win. So just going off trends and what I know about Geelong, I think that they should win this game. Next game we have a showdown: Adelaide versus Port. This particular rivalry is one of the most back and forth. I think it probably is the most back and forth actually, as far as wins per side. But Port has been struggling, man. Port has a lot of injuries going on. Warren Francis is out. Radicalier is out. Rosie is a test to see come back this week. And they just got a lot going on, bro, as far as injuries go. I think Adelaide and the way that they handled this past week, bro, Gold Coast, I think Adelaide's just in top form, bro. I think they're a premiership contender too, man. They're third on the ladder, bro. Say it every week, bro. The forwards that they have are just way too dangerous, bro. Tex can go off at any moment. Dilthor can go off at any moment. Darcy Fogarty has a third tall, is definitely a utility. Dan Curtin is big down there. They have like the smalls and the talls that are dangerous up forward. But even then, like Dan Curtin isn't quite a permanent forward over there anyway. So he's just kind of a utility over there. So it is quite interesting, bro, to see how versatile Adelaide is. And I think Adelaide is just a much better team. I think the Port has been showing this year. They're the healthier team, but they're also just a better team too. They haven't been as consistent. They haven't been consistent really a lot throughout the year, but I think they're breaking bad habits. They have been better as of late. Port did get up for that last game. Like I really thought the last showdown was going to be an ass whooping. Port made it competitive, so I don't want to completely write them off. But a lot of their key players are out, so I think health will be a big factor in this game. So I'm gonna go ahead and tip Adelaide. I think it should be a comfortable win. If they whoop Gold Coast ass, they should be able to whoop Port's ass pretty bad. But we'll see how motivating it is, it being a showdown and all. See what type of competitiveness that Port can bring. But I'm not really counting on it too much. Second to last game of the round, starting Sunday, we have Richmond versus Collingwood. And Collingwood definitely should bounce back from that last loss against Freo. Richmond isn't quite as competitive as Freo is, to be quite honest. I don't see Collingwood really dropping 2 back-to-back at this particular time. I think they're just like a professional team too as well. They're well coached, so I think that there's a lot that'll be pointed out to them as far as issues that they had last week and what they can fix. So I would really hate to be Richmond in this particular situation, bro. Collingwood should definitely still keep the top 4 spot, but I'm pretty sure they're probably striving for that minor premiership. Still first on the ladder, but their grip hasn't been as strong, dropping a couple games in the last couple rounds. So they're 2 points above Brisbane at the moment for the number 1 spot. But at first I would have thought that it was gonna be a lot for them boys to be number 1, but just a little bit of armor cracking over there, man. Them boys, them old heads, man. Maybe they're getting a little tired, man. Season coming down. Maybe they're letting the foot off the gas. I'm not quite sure. But regardless of whatever the case is, they should still be able to beat Richmond comfortably at the MCG. So I'll go ahead and go Collingwood there. And the last game of the round, we have Melbourne versus St Kilda. Melbourne are the favorites to win this game, but I don't necessarily feel like that they'll win this game. I'm gonna tip Saints, mostly because Jake Lever's still out and Stephen May just got suspended for 3 weeks for that contest that he had with Frankie Evans in the last game against Carlton. Don't agree with it at all. Don't agree with the 3-game suspension. I don't know what else he was supposed to do there. But it is what it is, and without two of their key players down back, the two best defenders down back, arguably, I think it might be rough for them boys. I don't think Saints are necessarily the strongest attacking side, but I do think it will definitely have an effect on them boys. I don't think Melbourne has a really great record without both of them. Even without one or the other, they kind of struggle as well without having both together in tandem. So I think that'll be a big part of this game. Yeah, and I think the Saints have been relatively competitive. I don't think they're as bad as what the record reflects, if you don't mind. They signed Winging Miller. He's a strong engine. I think he just makes a huge difference being on that team. Jack Steele has been playing great. I called out his effectiveness earlier in the year, and really for the last couple of rounds, not even the last couple of rounds, like the back half of the year, he's been strong, bro. He's been great. So, yeah, with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and just tip the Saints on it. Go out on a limb and tip them boys. Melbourne probably a favorite to win this game, but rightly so. I mean, I'm not necessarily mad at it. They have strong ruckmen, strong midfielders. And they've been figuring out the forward line a little bit. So, but I just, for some reason, I just have to hear the Saints calling my name. I have been known to tip the Saints, maybe when they haven't deserved it or whatever the case is, but I think I'm just go ahead and go against the grain and tip the Saints here, man. So that's what I got for this round, man. This has potential for me to be wrong on a lot of these games, man, but hopefully I end up looking like a genius by the end of this round, man. So appreciate y'all. Let me know what you agree with, don't agree with. Let me know if there's something I didn't bring up that could potentially sway my opinion, or something that you think would be very influential in the game that I may have forgot to mention. So like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube shit, man. Check us out, man. We got the games coming up tonight. Well, by the time you see this, it'll probably be tonight. And we'll see y'all. Carlton, Hawthorn. Yes, Lord.